So how many people here have heard of TED Talks before? Raise your hands. All right, awesome, a good number of people. So for those of you that don't know about TED, TED is an organization that organizes TED Talks, which is where speakers share great ideas for less than 18 minutes. So 8 years ago, when I was in high school, my dad brought me to my first TEDx event. Or maybe not brought, but forced me to go. So we drove 8 hours to a local university where they were hosting a TEDx conference. So this was an event where they had a series of talks, and speakers come in and share their ideas that they're working on. And coming into this, I had pretty low expectations. But this experience blew my mind in terms of the ideas that I got exposed to, the speakers that were sharing such inspirational stories, and I was just so energized to see so many people in the community come together to share ideas, to learn together, to meet each other. I've just never experienced something like that. And I was also just amazed by how a group of college students were able to pull that entire event together. And it looked something like this, just a conference full of energy. So we were driving back home, and we were just talking about how all the amazing ideas that we heard, the things that we learned, how much energy there was. And my dad asked me one question, and didn't know at the time, but this question would change my life. What he asked me is, why don't you organize a TEDx event for your high school? And at first, I was very excited. I was like, I can share this experience that I had with my friends, with the people in my community. But soon after, a few seconds later, other thoughts started coming into my head. My mind started reminding me of limiting beliefs. Started saying things like, you don't know how to organize an event. You don't have enough experience to do something like this. You're too young. You can't convince other people to come, or other speakers to come and participate in the event. But there was something that I found within me that gave me the confidence to say, I can do it. I believe in myself, and I can make it happen. So over the next year, with that conviction, I worked tirelessly to make an event happen in my high school for the first time. I had several tens of meetings with the principal, convincing her that we can actually host something at the school and it won't go to turmoil. I got an official license from TED. I found incredible speakers, messaged hundreds of companies to get some sponsorship, and recruited an amazing team to help me build this event. And I worked hard to make this happen, and eventually we organized something that I'm really proud of. So this is a picture of the team, and it was TEDx Youth at CCHS. And our team brought together, and we brought together speakers, as like most TED conferences, and we brought together the entire community. And it was just an incredible success. The community has never seen something like this. It was just a place for everyone to come together, to be inspired, share ideas, and learn with each other. But the thing that stood out the most for me is that this gave me the confidence to do so many other things. This same pattern of taking that leap, of believing in myself, allowed me to do so many more other things in my life. So a few of those things, I then went to college. I started the first TEDx event at my college, and throughout those 4 years, I kept increasing the scale of the event, and soon turned it into one of the largest TEDx conferences in the nation. Then I went to CMU, Carnegie Mellon, and I started the alumni community for helping support entrepreneurs that graduated from my university. And that has now scaled to over 7,000 members. And we now host over 50 events every year. And this sounds crazy to me. I was in high school afraid of organizing one single event, and now to be organizing events at this scale, and also inviting guests that went to my school, like billionaires, folks that have built successful companies. To have those people involved just seemed extremely crazy to me. And then finally, after graduating college, I started my career at Slack, which many of you might know, and I joined there as a software engineer. And joining out of college, I was one of the youngest engineers to be on the team. But my mindset going into that was that it doesn't matter about my age. I want to take ownership. I want to take responsibility. I want to be able to play a major role. And with that mindset, I just believed in myself, and within 2 years, was able to be leading one of the largest projects for the company, and being part of a team and leading a team of other senior engineers who are all 10, 15 years more senior than I did. And I'm sharing all of these to kind of share that fundamental underlying theme of just believing in yourself. And there was one lesson and one principle that I took away from all of this. And that's, you can only achieve what you believe is possible. I only accomplished the things that I was able to do because I believed in myself and I pushed myself. We're all capable of so much more than we're all capable of so much more than we think, but we're only limited by what we believe we can do. We all have limiting beliefs that are in the back of our mind, conscious or unconscious, things and messages that are like, I'm too young, I'm not smart enough, there's not the right opportunity. What these do is they basically limit us. When we have these limiting beliefs, they limit us before we even give things a try. So these last few days has been a really incredible experience for me because I got to spend a lot of time at the analytics office. And if there's one thing that has stood out to me so well, it's the fact that there feels like there's such an incredible opportunity for people to push themselves and achieve things beyond what they thought was possible. And I mean, we heard today from Satish, Rajiv, John, I mean, the ambitions and the vision for this company are grand, and they're pushing the boundaries. And we heard from so many times from leadership around that we need people to step up, to grow into that. As the company grows, there's going to be more opportunities for growth for everyone. So the only thing stopping people is believing in themselves and pushing that boundary. And I was also just fortunate to just talk to so many folks within the company and hear so many inspirational stories about how people transform their own careers. And there are two stories that stood out that I wanted to just highlight today. The first is of Janish Shah. Janish, if you're here, I would love for you to stand up. Janish joined Analytics 10 years ago, and he joined as an account executive, barely knowing any English. And then today, he's now leading one of the largest accounting teams at Analytics with over 100 plus employees. And then there's Chetan Oswal. If you're here, I'd love for you to stand up as well. There we go. Chetan was one of the first 2 members to join the CAD team, which was just an experimental team at first. But now he leads the entire CAD division with over 50 people. And these are just 2 of many stories that I have just heard in just my 3 days here. And I think it just shows that there's so much opportunity for people to grow if they believe in themselves, if they work hard, and you persist towards it. So the only thing stopping you is really what you believe you can achieve. And if there's one thing, it's so easy to say, hey, just believe in yourself. Go chase your dreams. Forget about all those fears. It's very easy to say these things. So there's one more thing that I learned, which Satish was just talking about, which is the importance and the value of having a support system. You need to surround yourself with people who believe in you. And you also need to surround yourself with people who you're inspired by. And I feel so lucky to have some of these in my life where at least my dad, first of all, always is that person that will always believe in me. But also, I live in San Francisco, and I think this is a very special place. For those of you that don't know, it's what some will say like the startup capital of the world. Some of the most innovative and successful companies and startups were started there. Facebook, Instagram, Google, Twitter, LinkedIn. And I think the thing that stands out for me from being in that environment is the fact that these companies are coming out of there, I think, for a reason. And I think at least one of those reasons is the fact that everyone there has an insane level of self-belief. And it's contagious. When you're surrounded by other people who think they can change the world, by people who think or starting companies at such an early age and just have this incredible level of self-belief that you can even say is crazy, but it's only because they have this level of belief are they actually given themselves the chance to achieve it. If you set the bar lower, if you only think you can achieve a certain amount, you're already limiting your potential. We all have that potential. It's just where we set that bar, what we believe, that actually determines how much of that we actually use. So there's no shortage of opportunity at analytics. That's how, I think, from what we're hearing today from leadership, and it's amazing how it feels like leadership just really is that belief for so many people. And I think it's up to us also, for everyone here, to be able to support each other in that journey. There's no shortage of inspirational stories that I feel like I've been exposed to just for the few days. And you all are here to support each other as well. So I think there's no shortage of opportunity, and again, the only thing stopping you is really, what do you believe you can achieve, and are you willing to push and fight for that? So I'll leave you with the last statement again of, you can only achieve what you believe is possible. So the question is, what do you believe you can accomplish? And is that limiting you, or is that pushing you to beyond your limits? Thank you.